link it to the unions and how...
And the decline of the unions.
Yeah.
And the decline of our middle class, you know.
Really, you know, that's my opinion, but from what I can see, at least here in this local area, everything started going, you know, we had cheap Japanese steel that came in first. The accident that happened down at the Sago mine, that was a non-union mine. And the whole deal of how that came about was that they were going to buy all these mines and they wanted them to be non-union mines, Massey or non-union mines. And that's one of the things about that unions do. It's like, look, you know, it's safer, we're not doing it.
And the CEO for Massey, Don Blankenship, that was his role back in the 1980s, was to break the United Mine Workers in West Virginia,
yeah.
which he was fairly successful in doing. And that cleared the way for the Massey practices that we see today.
And you know, here we have the thing in the Gulf with the oil spill BP.
Oh, it's terrible.
So I think it's just going to take people to finally just get to a point that you know, enough's enough, and because otherwise, you know, how can we? You have to have clean water. You have to have clean energy. Otherwise, I mean, you know, what are we going to do? Anyway, I could go on and on and on about that. But,
yeah. There's lots to talk about, Mitch, in that whole area.
Yeah, because when you talk about legacy, these are the things I know. In talking with Fred, the Native Americans used to think 7 generations down. What they were handing to their 7 generations ahead is how they used to plan.
Interesting.
In terms
I've never heard that.
In terms of legacy, of what we leave to our children and our children's children is what we're doing now is really going to affect that. And if you don't have drinking water, I mean, what are you going to do? Anyway, is there something that you would like to do for us that fits into that theme, maybe off of your last CD?
Yeah, let me do, I'll tell you what, to
actually do whatever you want.
To continue on that theme, and you know, my interest in this really peaked when I was doing research to make the record, The Unbroken Circle, Songs of the West Virginia Coal Fields. And, you know, these miners and the steel workers, but particularly the coal miners that came before us, they made incredible sacrifices to establish the unions, and incredible sacrifices that led to, you know, the work climate that we enjoy in America today. They didn't get to enjoy the things that we have today. And one of the most incredible stories was 10,000 civilian miners who armed themselves and marched into Logan County to organize Logan and Mingo counties. In 1921, those were the only 2 counties that were not organized by the United Mine Workers. And a local folk hero, Sid Hatfield, was one of the first public officials in West Virginia to stand up for his citizens rather than the coal companies. He could not be bought out by the coal companies. He was assassinated in public in front of a courthouse by more than 15 Baldwin Phelps detectives in McDowell County.
It's the mate one. Right?
Yeah, well, Sid was, that was how he became famous. He and Cabell Testerman, who was the mayor, and Sid, I believe, was the sheriff. When the miners in Matewan went on strike, first thing the company did was threw them from their homes. And the company, Sid and Cabell, said, no, we're not going to allow you to do this. Well, the company hired the Baldwin Phelps detectives to come up from Bluefield, and of course when they got to the train station, you know, it was inevitable that, you know, something was going to go down. And a big gun battle broke out, and Sid, despite the fact he was right in the middle of it, in the midst of it, he was uninjured. Cabell Testerman died, the mayor, as well as a few Baldwin Phelps detectives. And they got even with Sid about a year later when he was in McDowell County. They brought him up on some kind of petty gun charges. Baldwin Phelps detectives
shot him right at the courthouse.
Yeah, in the little town of Welsh. They came out from either side of the courthouse and gunned him down. Nobody was ever prosecuted. Well, I think they were prosecuted, but nobody was ever convicted of the crime. So anyway, that was a real rallying point for the coal miners. That really upset them, and so 10,000 strong, they marched into Logan to organize it. And it's where we get the term redneck today.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, that's how they They wore the red handkerchief around
Right.
their neck. I did not realize that. Yeah.
To identify themselves. And there are a lot of people who say that the word was around before then, and it may have been, but that's when it was galvanized in its current usage, which was a slur for the poor and uneducated of Appalachia.
Yeah.
These federal troops, there were 16 federal troops that amassed at the behest of Sheriff Don Chafin.
Just in case you just joined us, let me let you know you're listening to Acoustic Songs Live on WNJR FM 91.7 in Washington, and we have Tom Breiding here in the studio, and he's going to play us a song. I think it is about May 1. And is this off of your last CD?
Yeah, it's off the Unbroken Circle, Songs of the West Virginia Coalfields.
What's the title?
Union Miner. I am a union miner, and I work all night and day. I am a union miner, I'll mine your coal for union wage. In 17, I left my home for this country's flag. I fought the war. By 21, in my hometown, well, I weren't welcome in the Legion Hall no more, because I am a union miner, and I'll mine your coal for union wage. For that wage I'll lay my life when I march down from Marmet, armed with my Colt and Winchester, a red bandana tied about my neck. I am a union miner, and I'll mine your coal for union wage. 10,000 strong, I'll make my stand. My union brothers all there with me. We ain't coming home till Sheriff Chafin is hanging from the sour apple tree. I am a union miner, and I'll work all night and day. I am a union miner, I'll mine your coal for union wage. I'll mine your coal for union wage.
Wow, great song, man.
Thank you, man.